Hi, my name is Marta Tullis, and I am the co-author, together with my husband, the late Hackchan Rhee, of the book Under Five Flags. Under Five Flags is a memoir of the first 25 years of my husband's life in Pyongyang, Korea. Hackchan Rhee, or as I prefer to call him, Huck, was born in 1929 in Pyongyang during a time and place where the Japanese had held sway for a number of years. He therefore went to Japanese elementary school as well as Japanese middle school, leaving middle school at the end of the second year to go work at a nearby Japanese Air Force base repairing planes during World War II. He became so engrossed with his work that he at one point volunteered to become a kamikaze pilot. Fortunately, that ambition was denied him inasmuch as it was determined that he couldn't stand up straight after having been spun around in a chair for a number of revolutions. With the end of World War II came the end of Huck's job at the Air Force Base. And he immediately went back to middle school, where he obtained a certificate to teach elementary school in Pyongyang. Of course, this was during the time when the Russians had invaded Korea and were setting up a communist government in North Korea. Huck taught in the Pyongyang school system for approximately 2 years until the advent of the Korean War in June 1950. With the advent of the war, however, came the bombing of Pyongyang. Before long, he was out of a job due to the bombing in Pyongyang, which had destroyed the school in which he had been working. He was therefore at rather loose ends until the first week of November 1950, when he happened to be walking along the street with his younger brother Young-chan, and they were approached by a gentleman who was seeking to obtain both interpreters as well as other support staff to work with the medical detachment of the U.S. 171st Army Battalion. The boys immediately jumped on the offer of employment and worked with the 171st Battalion for approximately a month, until the pressures of fighting in Pyongyang became so intense that the 171st began to withdraw to South Korea. At that point, Huck and Young-chan went home to see if there was anything they could do for their parents. They were dismayed to learn when they walked in the door that the house had been bombed somewhat, and that the family was eating very little. They were strongly encouraged by their father to head south and to avoid the fighting. They did so and eventually wound up back with the 171st Battalion and got their old jobs back. However, at one point, the 171st Battalion transferred most of its medical staff and other support personnel to the 1st FOB, which is where Huck and Young-chan spent the remainder of the Korean War. The 1st FOB was a unit which followed the forward observers as they were operating near the 38th parallel, looking for troop movements. They were basically a MASH unit which had very little in the way of defensive firepower, which proved to be somewhat problematic when at one point they were overrun and encircled by Chinese troops, which had been crossing the 38th parallel near the Imjin River. The resulting casualties from the first FOB kept Huck and Young-chan busy moving the wounded onto ambulances and other transport vehicles. Huck also had occasion to draw a wounded serviceman out of a minefield into which he had inadvertently wandered. Huck left Korea in 1954, traveling to the United States on a student visa. He eventually wound up at the University of Wisconsin, where he obtained a degree in mechanical engineering. This essentially is the end of the book. However, I have a few additional points that I would like to make. First of all, I would like to say that my husband was a very brave man who was capable of meeting difficulty and danger with a sense of purpose and achievement. He was the bravest man I have ever known, and I miss him greatly. Secondly, I would like to also say that the concept of a planned economy, especially when aligned with a government that owns all the means of production, is extremely hazardous to the population, inasmuch as sooner or later there will be great shortages of consumer goods, including food and other necessities, which may include up to and including the point of starvation. At one point, my husband and his stepmother had to go to the mountains to eat the pith of the trees. The pith, of course, being the thin membrane that is located between the bark and the interior surface of the tree, and which carries the nutrients of the tree. It is very useful in the event that one is starving to death. And lastly, I would like to say that I hope that this book will in some way add to the historical record of a time and place which is very often overlooked or obscured in the annals of history. I want to say thank you to my friends Sally and Mike Wakefield for their assistance in setting up the previous interviews I have conducted with both Authors Press as well as PTW WNET TV in Atlanta. If anyone wants to obtain a copy of this book, they may do so through Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or Dorrance Publishing. And an audiobook may also be obtained from Amazon.com or any one of a number of other audiobook retailers. These are my friends, Mike and Sally Wakefield. We have known each other for more than 30 years. Mike was Huck's lead at both Lockheed Martin as well as Martin Marietta, and Sally is his wife. We have had a number of monthly luncheons for the past 30 years, and have been really good friends ever since I've been working in the aerospace industry. They are both very precious to me. I could not have possibly done everything I needed to do without them in terms of getting VideoCon meetings set up and so forth. and they have come to my aid a number of times, especially when I had various health crises.
Marta and I have known each other for approximately 30 years, and we've actually gone through a lot together. We've become very close over the years, and Marta's one of my favorite people. I wish I could spend more time with her than I do. But we met working for Lockheed Martin, and we've both been retired for a while now. So we try to spend more time together as time goes on. I've been able to share a lot with Marta during ups and downs, and I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I hope as time goes on that we can actually spend more time together. I enjoyed Huck very much. They were a wonderful couple together, as Marta is a wonderful person now. We enjoyed sharing stories of their travels and their experiences, and it's just been a really good relationship over the years, and I think it's a very good one now, and I'm sure it will get even better as time goes on.
So a long time ago, when I was at Lockheed Martin, which was Martin Marietta then, a space contractor, we needed some extra designers. And I had the privilege of interviewing Huck, a guy from North Korea, no less, to work at an aerospace contractor. Well, that seems kind of strange, but we interviewed him, and he's a good guy, and actually hired him to do design work for us. And this was at a laboratory where we did lots of interesting things like fired rockets and high pressure and low pressure and just lots of fun things. And Huck was good at that. He was a very clever guy. He was a smart guy all his life. This book lays it out. It's really interesting to follow his progression through the book and all the things that he was able to do and all the people he was able to keep happy. And it's a great historical text. So at any rate, we had a great time. We wound up going to their wedding back in
1988.
a long time ago. Anyway, we enjoyed that very much. And I remember Huck told me a long time ago, he says, you know, the reason I'm marrying Marta is because she's tall and she can reach things that I can't reach. And so that was good. He had a very practical vein to him. So Huck was a great guy. You'll find it in this book on every page. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Thank you.
Hello, this is Marta Tullis with Sally and Mike Wakefield, wishing you the very best. Thank you for watching this video. We wish you good luck and God bless.
Bye. Bye-bye. Read the book. Enjoy. Bye-bye.